key generations when it talks about different work ethics, okay? So a baby boomer, they are viewed as much more committed and career focused. Do you agree with that?
Sure, because when they entered the workforce 30 years ago,
yes,
the idea was you joined a company, you stayed with it for your life, you advanced up the ranks, maybe you became president one day or CEO, whatever. But the idea that there was loyalty to time spent was very important.
Very important.
And companies would often spend a lot of time training you, and then your expectation was, I'm going to spend my whole life here, and I'm going to slowly make more and more money.
Right.
That is out the window.
Out the window. And when that started becoming out the window, a lot of baby boomers went, wait a minute, that's not how that story was supposed to go, right? When all these mergers and acquisitions were happening in this country, in broadcasting.
Because the world became globally competitive.
Yeah.
That's really what changed everything, global competition. And companies said, I can no longer give you a lifetime job. And we had a lot of volatility in the workplace. Today, if you talk to a young person in their 20s, they'll make the assumption there's just as much risk starting their own company as there is working for a large one.
Right.
Except if you own your own company and you're successful, one day you'll be financially free. So why not do that instead? That's why we're creating a whole new entrepreneurial engine in the country.
They're really making it happen. I don't know that we were creative thinkers, we baby boomers. It's just that we were told this is how this path is going to be for you, right?
And you had so that confirmation by watching your parents who did the same thing.
Yeah, that's
the right way to do it. That is not the right way to do it.
Baby boomers, that's typical workaholics and willing to stay home at the same job for years, as you said, staying at the same job. Better pay, better pension packages, mortgages usually paid off, less debt. However, this leads to false sense of security and reckless spending.
Right.
What?
So, all over the headlines today is that baby boomers did not save enough. Even though they paid down their debt, maybe don't have a mortgage, they don't have enough to retire. And they're in their 50s now, facing within 8-9 years retirement. That's why so many of them are saying, well, I'm 60, I'm 65, I can't stop working. And they're plugging up the holes that are not available for young people who want to come into the market.
Right.
So this is a big sea change. You see lots of people in their 70s. It really breaks my heart to see somebody working at McDonald's when they're 70 years old.
Because they have to.
They have to. They don't.
That's because they don't want to.
So that's a really good warning about saving.
Okay, saving. So when you talk about savings for the baby boomers, they should be able to live nicely and not worry about having to go back to work, although some people like to go back to work, Kevin, because they feel more vital because they were defined by the work that they did. Am I right?
That should be your option, Marilyn, not your need. The whole idea is that if you don't need to work, you feel a lot better about doing it. It's something you want to do. But I think what we failed as a society to do is train young people when they're in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Teach them whatever. They talk about, we tell them sex, we talk about engineering, or we talk about math or geography. We forget to tell them about money. We don't teach our young children about money, so when they end up being 50 and dead, or not having saved enough, that's what we did to our society.
Millennials are good in the moment financial decisions because they were born into a world filled with debt problems.
Yes. Millennials are comfortable with volatility. They get change. They're comfortable with change. They embrace it. They're okay dealing with it. And that makes them very powerful. They know they're not going to stay in the same job for 20 years. They kind of look at it as, how long do I have to stay just to have a good resume? And that's about 24 months minimum.
Really?
They get it. You know, I look at a lot of people, if I see that they've actually changed jobs faster than 24 months, I'm saying, hey, what's wrong? I like to see at least 24 months that you've been able to be given a project and deliver on it.
Yeah, that's so opposite what we were trained as kids, isn't it?
I look at dozens of resumes today where I see every 36 months a new career move. That's not new to me. Millennials understand change. The good thing is they move their way to finding out what they want to do.
Don't prioritize long-term financial plans like retirement, though. Is that problematic?
Well, the great thing is that's true, but also what's true is millennials hate debt. They don't want to be in debt. They're not interested in owning a car if they have to go into debt. They want to pay off their student loan as fast as they can. They don't want to buy a house because they don't want to be in debt. They don't like credit card debt because they get it. They understand it's not good for them. That means in a generation from now, we're going to have a lot of people, because they came in a time of change and embraced it, that won't be in trouble financially. I'm very optimistic about our millennials going forward.
So if you're starting your career, you should think like a boomer or a millennial.
Millennial for sure.
Okay.
There's no question. Young people have it right today. They get it, and they're not scared about change.
Finances, boomer, millennial.
Ooh. I can tell you this. I meet so many boomers that are screwed, that just didn't save. And I'm now coming to the conclusion that millennials are smarter about money because they're hip to what's going on. They've embraced the idea that debt is bad, and they want want to save from the start. And I think I would rather put that kind of psyche into people at any age.
At any age. And retirement credit will repeat that again.
Look at the headlines.
Yeah.
Every paper in Canada is talking about Canadians are too much debt. They're not talking about millennials. They're talking about baby boomers in their 50s that haven't paid off their mortgages yet, still have credit card debt. It's all bad.
Well, we've got 18-year-old millennial. Right? You're a millennial.
Yes.
So how do you say your last name?
Weems.
And tell us your story, because you're like 18.
I'm 18 years old.